Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Sean Sandona on the line, and he is the founder and CEO over at Doorage, and this is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I had a guest on in the past, and I liked him so much I had to bring him right on back. So, Sean, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back. My pleasure.
Oh, man, I'm so happy to hear your voice and have you back on. I'm like, man, this is the reunion 2020. It's like I got all my old podcasting bells back together. We're getting the band back together, Sean.
For sure.
So just to start out, I don't want to assume that all of our new listeners caught your first episode, so why don't you give us a little bit of a background for the new listeners on what you're doing over at Doorage, please?
No problem. So Doorage, we launched just over 2 years ago in Chicago. We're a valet storage provider. So we basically take all the self out of self-storage. We provide an online platform to place orders. Our teams come and pick everything up, inventory it, put an online inventory for the customer, and then store their items in a climate-controlled, high-security warehouse. At any time, they can request their items back from our team, simply logging in, going on their platform, and checking off the items they want, and our team brings them back, unwraps, and sets everything in the locations they want. We're also the first nationwide service area valet storage company, so we can pick up and deliver anywhere in the country.
Wow. And so, I first off, love the motto, love what you're doing, and I know, right now there's a lot of trying times and things going on with the virus. Let's talk a little bit more about how your firm has pivoted to meet student demand.
Yeah. So, we owe a tremendous amount of our success to students, and especially the students in Chicago and the greater Midwest region. As we launched, they really embraced our company. And traditionally, our student season starts in the late spring, May, and then through June. And with a lot of the universities having to enact immediate closures and cancellations of classes and then forcing immediate move-outs, we had to accelerate our student position. And our company made the decision to stop all non-student business. It was time for us to pay it back to the student community. So we canceled all non-student business and really immobilized our task and our force to get out and help these students put their items in storage and accomplish moves from on-campus housing to off-campus housing in a matter of days. And it's really been a huge challenge for our team, but we've met it in stride, and, we owe everything to our team members out in the field.
Wow, that's quite amazing. And one of the things that I like about this is obviously, it's getting back to the core of who kind of helped you build it up in the first place and to meet that demand. And because the students, it's tough, right? Like, obviously the whole country is going through some tough times right now, but for these students especially, and for the universities, it's a really tricky proposition. So how do you manage logistics on something like that? I'm just curious.
We have a great logistics team. We have a great customer service team, and we have great market managers in all of our markets. We developed a new plan, pretty much burning the midnight oil the first night that everything was introduced to us and the emergency calls were put out.
I was just going to say, I can't imagine what that was like. It's like, all right, this is what we're doing.
Exactly. There was a lot of Red Bulls all night long that night. And we worked through the midnight, and we got back in the office at 4 a.m., I think it was, the next day, and we announced a plan, how we're going to attack the universities. Luckily, we had some other outside resources we could pull into our team members. We actually worked with a rental agency to pick up some more emergency trucks, and we implemented it in one day. And we processed, I think the first day, we processed 70-plus orders in the first day, and it just kept growing from there. And we met every appointment requirement on time and, helped all these students and their families through a difficult time. And, there's no one to point a finger at. The universities did what they had to do, and it just left a tough situations for their families.
Wow. And so talk a little bit more, because that's not an easy thing what you pulled off, first of all, to do that in a day. I mean, you must be doing something right with company culture and with building your team. So I do want you to spend a moment or two kind of highlighting and or talking about that, because no one person could pull something like that off.
No, and I appreciate that. I had a recent interview about my management style and our company's management style. And when I explained it's a push-pull management style, it doesn't fit any of the textbook college course management styles. And the interviewer asked, what does that even mean? And I explained that we push every member of our team to be the best they can, both within themselves and for what service they provide for the customers and the rest of the team. Yet with that pushing from myself and upper management, we're also pulling them with us each step of the way. We're never asking them to do things we wouldn't do, and we hop out in the field. I was in the field loading trucks with the team. It's whatever it takes. It's always all hands on, and the team recognizes that everyone is a part of a team, whether it's sweeping or picking up orders or processing in the warehouses. And because of that company culture and that management style, when we had to put the call out and ask guys to work ridiculous hours, they just stepped right up to the plate, and it was truly amazing.
Wow, that's something else. So that being said, obviously we don't know how long or what this is going to last. When will just for some of the listeners, because I do want them to know. I mean, no, Doorage isn't going anywhere. When do you suspect things to get normal? Just in terms of you accepting other business and other things like that for Doorage in general. Once the student demand's kind of met, if it's not already been met.
Yeah, we feel we've met the immediate student demand. We have a couple of universities that we're partnered with that have delayed the move-outs now. Most of that's due to the governor of Illinois putting in the shelter-in-place order. And we've then allowed our website and our customer service agents to start working with traditional business and traditional residential customers. We did put a couple stops of action that were in place. We were about to announce a new 6-city home market launch. We put a hold on that in an acquisition we're in the process of. And so when you said normal, who knows what normal is going to be after this is all done. But right now we're back to supplying our consumers in our markets with the full service. If there's another
so you're back up and running then? Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, we're back up and running for most customers. And if something shifts, we'll pivot again and take care of the highest need people first.
No, that's awesome. I love it. So, Sean, first off, thank you for coming back on for this Reunion 2020 episode. I love it. I love to showcase great stories like this of people that are really stepping up to the plate to help not only their clients but to serve needs for all of us pitching in the ways that we do, and for trying to turn a negative into a positive experience as much as possible, which you've managed to do for your clients and for the students and for the universities. Really kind of picking up the slack again. Nobody's fault, but it's just the nature of what we're dealing with right now. So great stuff there, and to all of Sean's team that will be listening to this, just want to say, hey, great work to all of you for pulling that off. The management team, everybody down to who's making the deliveries, who's driving those trucks, who's doing everything in between. We sure do appreciate you and all the great work you're doing there. So Sean, thanks again for coming on the show, and to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, don't forget to subscribe to that, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to hear your thought process and what kind of businesses you're working on. And Sean, thanks again for coming back on.